Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a fleece jacket. So to get started, I'm going to have a jacket for reference, pattern paper, a zipper, and some fleece fabric. I got that fabric at Joann's. So to start, we're going to make our pattern, and I'm going to begin this by doing front piece, then back piece, then collar, then sleeves. So right now I'm just tracing half of the front piece. If you want to do a full zip, you'll just do 2 halves, or if you want to do one big chunk and then like a 6-inch zip, which I'm doing, you'll trace the whole thing. So the way I do this is I just lift up a little bit and mark where it sits and repeat the process. And something that I went back and corrected, you can see that smaller line kind of in the armpit area. I went back and actually ended up making it more of a steep curve because the front piece is always going to have a steeper shoulder curve than the back. So that is my half, and now I'm going to fold it over to make one whole piece and then cut out the pattern. Awesome, so once we do that, we're going to move on to the back, and then I trace the back the exact same way as I did the front. Oh well, I guess we're gonna draw a little zipper here. So I just marked where I'm gonna put the zipper, and again, I'm doing little half zip. Oh well, I guess I'm gonna do the collar now instead. Well yeah, trace the collar. Just keep in mind that the collar is folded in half, so right now I'm actually doing half. I'm not doing the whole collar. But as you can see, I'm going to trace it, and then fold it in half so I can cut out the entire piece accurately. I do my voiceovers once through, so even if I mess up, I just keep going. I don't know if that's good or bad. Cool, so that's our collar. As you can see, I folded it in half. You do want that nice and double lined. Nice and thick. Alright, now we're moving on to the back. So again, trace it the same way as you did the front. And I mentioned that in the front, your little shoulder curve is going to be a little bit steeper than the back. So yeah, watch out for that. But when you trace the back, it'll be pretty accurate, and you'll be able to see. And this is the way that I trace most of my patterns. I think tracing is the easiest way to do things since, it already exists and most people probably already have a jacket. And even if, say, I wanted to make some adjustments, I wanted it to be tighter, I obviously can draw that in the pattern. So having a solid reference for fit is a great way to go. And again, same thing, we got the half, so we're going to fold it in half and then cut it out correctly. Sorry if you guys can hear people in the background, I'm at work right now. But I just wanted to film this, or voice over this, it's been sitting in my editing software forever. I just haven't done the voiceover. Another thing to note is that the neck hole is going to be shallower in the back than in the front. In the front you have a little more space for your neck, more like a U-shaped curve a little bit. Alrighty, moving on to sleeves. So the way I do my sleeves, if you guys know, sleeves can look a little bit funky, so I'll just first trace the outside. But see where the actual shoulder part is? I'm tracing it right now. That's inaccurate. That's not exactly how you do it, but you'll see as I move on that I correct it and make it a little more shapely. Arm patterns have an interesting shape to them that you wouldn't expect. Yeah, I would have never been able to figure it out if I hadn't looked it up beforehand when I did my first armhole. And different shapes of those armholes can make different shapes of sleeves. Cool, so I'm going to go back and kind of freehand draw the space. As you can see, it kind of slopes down and then touches the inner point there. I'll probably go over it again with Sharpie. Yes. Cool, so yeah, it's just some weird little curve and you're gonna cut that out. And you can see it's really weirdly shaped, but it works every time. So next, before we cut out our fabric, I'm going to wash it because fleece definitely shrinks. So I just threw it in the washer and then in the dryer to make sure that I can cut it out accurately. Cool, so now we're gonna cut out our fabric from our patterns. I thought that the fleece was just a little bit thin, so I'm actually gonna be cutting out 2 of each, front and back. So this is the second front. What's interesting about this one is we're actually going to be making like the 2 front pieces, but we're going to be sewing it as if it's one piece. So part of the process is going to be sewing the front together, sewing the back together, sewing the sleeves together. So yeah, you're going to cut 2 front, 2 back, 4 sleeves, because 2 of each. And then I think I just ended up doing 1 collar. Yeah, because otherwise it would be a little too thick and we're folding it over anyway, so it'll be double lined. Yeah. Alrighty. Moving on to the sleeves. Again, we're going to be cutting 4 of that. So I fold my fabric on the fold of the pattern, excuse me, to make it a little quicker to cut out. Alternatively, you could have 1 little layer of fabric and then stick your pattern on and do that whole thing. I don't even know if that makes sense. Cool, so now we have all our pieces and we're going to start getting each piece together. So this is the front, and I'm just going to sew it along all lines, and including the armholes. I didn't show that, but you should do the armholes as well. And then this is the back, just all around, make it one piece. And same thing here, all edges that you have, they are going to be sewn, including the little armholes and where your wrists come out. There. So yeah, just showing you all the different ones because I didn't trace it at first, but every hole, every place. And I'm using my Baby Lock Evolution for this. If you don't have a serger, just do a straight stitch, it'll work just as well. Yeah, but if you don't have a serger, I definitely recommend getting one because they're awesome. So now we have each of our pieces, and this is what the construction is going to look like a little bit. So now I can actually start constructing it. So I have my front, back, sleeves, and collar. So sleeves, I'm going to fold them in half, sew along the open line there. Here I'm going to sew on the edges and on the tops of the shoulders. So those are the sleeves just there. And then moving on to the other one. And now for the front and back, those top shoulder areas and then these sides. So we're not doing the armholes here because remember, we're going to put our sleeves in. So this just gets the front and the back piece together and then the sleeves together as well. That way we can keep sewing some more. So yeah, like I said earlier, I went back and made the kind of front shoulder holes a little bit more steep of a curve. There's my dog being annoying. Alrighty, so now we're going to do the sleeves. You're going to turn your sleeves right side out, stick it inside of the bodice, which is inside out, as you can see, and then sew along that hole there. You're going to pin the bottom, match up the seams, and then pin the top where the apex of the curve is to the seam of the bodice, and then sew in a circle. So here I am just sewing the sleeve holes, sleeves to the bodice. Yeah, pretty simple. For these stitches where I'm actually constructing it, I'm just using a straight stitch. You could go back with the serger, but it'll just get kind of thick and you really don't need to. So now we're going to pull the whole thing inside out and it should look something like this. So for the collar, you are going to, well, yeah, there we go. I was like, oh, am I doing it wrong? So you're going to match up the collar, mark the center, flip the collar down, and then you'll straight stitch along there. And then once you finish straight stitching it all the way around, you'll just flip the collar right back up and it'll stick right in place. Like this. And remember, I'm doing about a 6-inch zipper, so the collar doesn't meet. And I'm actually going to go back into the front piece of the bodice and cut a little slit in there to get my zipper in. So now it's time for the zipper. So I'm just cutting a little bit, measuring about 6 inches for the zipper. Then I'll get my zipper out. I got this one at Joann's. They cost like $2 or something, so really nice detail to add. I'm not great at doing zippers. It's not really something I have to deal with since I do mostly swimwear. But yeah, I'd recommend looking up a tutorial on how to do that because I'm terrible at it. So now I'm just going to fold over the edges and then sew, straight stitch to make it look nice. And here we are. Okay, so that's the sweater that I made. I'm super happy with it. I think it looks super cute with like a white North Face vest and ski boots and stuff. It is incredibly warm to the point where you're just sweating the whole time. But yeah, I think I'll get lots of use out of this. Yeah, I'm pretty proud. It looks like Patagonia. I'm happy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.